Hi everyone, thanks for checking out my video. I'm going to take you through the whole experience I had dealing with and using the dating and marriage agency of Foreign Affair. I'm also going to talk about the lady I was corresponding with. Her name is Victoria, and she is a complete fraud. Her ID number on a Foreign Affairs website is 189295. If you'd like to take a look at her scammy profile, you can do that. And I'll post a link to a Foreign Affairs website and Victoria's profile in the description below. I guess the big question at hand is what we all want to know: is this company a scam or not? Well, it can't be answered quite that easily because there are elements of this company that are 100% scam, and then you have the other part of it that is legit and could possibly work. But if we were to put these two on a scale, the scam side would outweigh the legit side by far. Now let's get into my personal experience as I use this company to try to find someone to possibly share the rest of my life with. And I chose to look in Kiev, Ukraine. Aside from knowing that I wasn't going to be able to meet this lady that I've been emailing, I did end up traveling to Ukraine, and here's a picture of me overlooking a part of the city center where all the action takes place in the evening time. Now, I'm 50 years old. I was in a long-term marriage for 18 years and have 3 kids. I've been divorced for over 5 years. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I've been in 2 short-term relationships since my divorce. I wanted an adventure and the possibility of meeting a lady that could turn into something serious, so I jumped on Google and I came across this company called The Foreign Affair. I think what helped me choose this company was the video they had showing one of their so-called tours. It showed hundreds of ladies all dressed up gorgeous with about 10-15 men. So yes, it was very enticing. But there is a dark side to this pony show, and I'll get into that a little bit later. I ended up joining this company after looking over their website and seeing all the perfect ladies they have displayed on their main page. My first mistake was not reading all the reviews that this company possesses. Here, let me show you some of these reviews so you have an idea of the biggest complaints that follow a foreign affair. Even with the Better Business Bureau, you'll find mostly complaints, and when you do come across a good review, you almost have to question it. When you first get to their website, you'll see perfect, beautiful women, and this is the start of the deception. Each of those pics are heavily photoshopped and misleading, and here's a little insight. The women you see on the front page are called the hooks, and they're there to suck you in with their boob jobs, pumped lips, photoshopped images, and faces that are Botoxed out. Yes, I was hooked, and I ended up becoming a platinum member, which costed me $95, plus a fee of $29.95 monthly, so I could start corresponding and emailing some of these ladies. Now, if you're puckering up about $95 and $29.95 monthly, you haven't even begun, my friend. This agency is a PPL site, and that stands for pay per letter. And what that means is that each time you send an email to a lady you would like to break the ice with or get to know, it'll cost you $7.49 if you're platinum. If you're not platinum, then they'll end up costing you around $10. Once you send this email, you'll get a response. And when she replies to you, you'll need to open the email, and that'll cost you another $7.49 or $10 if you're not platinum. Once you open her email response, you'll see several pictures that have been attached at the bottom. You'll find a checkbox next to each blank pic that you'll need to check if you want to see them. Each picture you check will be an additional cost to you of $3.50. They'll also send you videos that are pre-recorded, and those will cost you $6.95 each if you're platinum. So let's add this up. Her email being $7.49 plus 5 pictures at $3.50 each, so your total is now $24.99. Pretty alarming, isn't it? And that's not including a video if she decides to attach one. Let's remember this is for one email. A little bit more about the videos. Don't think you're getting a normal video as if she's saying hi or even talking or addressing you. You'll get a video that has this lady just standing there smiling, winking, pretty much acting brainless and stupid, and then it almost makes me feel brainless and stupid because I was watching it and I actually paid to see it. But the point of this video is to educate others on what to expect if you choose to use such a business, and I hope to save you not only time, but a lot of money. These videos are pointless, and it completely defeats the purpose of learning about each other. I remember telling the lady that I was corresponding with, Victoria, to send me a video of her talking to me. Tell me a little bit about herself and things she enjoys doing in her spare time. She did say she would work on it and will try to send one in the near future, but I never received it. What I did receive was this pre-recorded video of her standing there blowing kisses and winking. I'm going to tell you all about Victoria a little bit later in the video, so keep watching. Okay, there is a term for these women that have no plans of ever getting into a relationship and sometimes never even meeting you. Their main objective is to extract your money, as these women are called pro-daters. This is how they make their living, my friends. When I was in Ukraine, I met two ladies that did just this. I'm going to keep them anonymous, but they were hired to show up at these social gatherings and dress as if they were going to a wedding, and their sole purpose was to meet and mingle with these men. A Foreign Affair and other agencies will post ads online looking for women interested in this opportunity to make a little extra money. This is where the pro-dater term came from, because what happens is the man will show interest in a lady at this meeting, and so they set up a date. There are quite a lot of restaurants that will give nice kickbacks to these ladies, the pro-daters, and these ladies know which restaurants are in on the take. So let me explain. When you and the lady set up a date, she'll always know of a nice restaurant that you two can enjoy a nice meal together, and you're not going to say no because you're being nice and you want to impress her. But what is really happening is the restaurant she takes you to will give her a kickback of 15 to 30% of the bill, depending on which restaurant they take you to. Some of these places even have a separate menu that is overpriced and waiting to be handed to the foreigner. So here's a little tip. If you get this far and you're talking about dinner, you pick the spot and be mindful of the menu and the prices. So let's go to the Foreign Affairs website, and I'll show you right here that it states under their email forwarding that intro letters are primarily sent by the office staff. So if you're getting a bunch of letters of women you think are interested in you, they have no idea that you've even been contacted on their behalf. This one threw me off, but it states unless the women go to the office and works directly with the matchmaker, they normally do not view the men's profiles, as they are not made public. I have a hard time believing that these ladies make a special trip to a Foreign Affairs office each time they have a man emailing them for a possible connection. So does this mean they sometimes never even look at our profiles? Because it clearly states that this is their process, right in the terms and agreements. Don't think you'll email her your social media or cell number, because it says right here that any messages that may lead to the exchange of contact information will be edited out of the correspondence email until the lady has signed the man's specific EMBRA form. Okay, if the letter does not need to be translated, you are still charged the same price for sending or receiving an email. The staff matchmakers may personalize the intro letter by using the first name of the possible match. I'm not sure why they would be writing anything to the men acting as if it's the lady we intended to contact, but they have the ability to do this. I personally asked them while speaking to them on a phone call if they paid the women commissions or a percentage, and they said they personally don't pay the women, but they can't control what their third-party companies are doing. So when I heard that, it was clear to me they found a workaround on how to compensate the women for attracting guys and keeping them writing these emails, opening pictures, Skype calling, and pillaging their pockets. It is not recommended that you travel to visit any of the women based solely on their letters of correspondence. Why? Probably because they know that this road leads to nowhere, and meeting them most likely won't happen anyway. But if they get you spending thousands on a group tour, you'll be in a situation you will for sure meet women that were hired, so their part of the bargain is good. But sadly for you, you have a small chance of really meeting a good lady that has the same plan as you do. I'll talk about that in just a minute, but let's continue. In their disclaimer section, it states that they do use third-party affiliates and agencies, as a foreign affair does compensate not only staff members, but ladies for gifts, correspondence, which are the emails and Skype calls. Yes, It's in the fine print. All you have to do is read it. The women, they're compensated. I messaged a handful of women in the beginning, and of course, every one of them responded with what sounded like a scripted email. I regret not copying all the letters before they deleted my membership, because you would have really seen how fake they really are. It was funny to me how they would respond to your email with something like, "Hi, my dear Jason. Are you searching for love? The one and only to live with the rest of your life? I'm an honest woman who likes to cook and clean and take long walks with the one man that I love. Do you think you're that man?" So I think you all get the point. 95% of the emails sounded just like that, and the others were a little bit more connected. The ladies that were better at responding to my emails and answering my questions and sounded like they actually read what I had to say are the ones that I responded to. All the ladies wrote back to me, but only 2 ladies that replied sounded genuine. So I decided to write them back. Once I broke the ice and we emailed a few times, I was thinking I needed to get off this site because it was costing too much with all these emails and pictures and videos that they would send. So I contacted AFA and I inquired about the Skype video call, about how much they cost. My 30-minute call costed me $300, which included a translator. Well, it should have also included a steak and lobster dinner. So I told the Foreign Affair the reason for the call was to exchange phone numbers so we could take our conversations off the pay-per-letter site. They told me that no personal information can be exchanged unless you fill out the EMBRA form. And that form will cost you $400. The reason they charge $400 for a form that can be downloaded from the internet for free is because they absolutely don't want you to exchange contact information, because they would no longer be able to make money if you took your communications off their site. If you did the 30-minute Skype call and exchanged numbers with the EMBRA form, you would need to spend $700. I did check with other agencies and what they would charge for filing the EMBRA form, and the 3 that I contacted told me there was no charge, and you can download it for free off the internet. Okay, so I did the video Skype call because I wanted to see this lady in real time, and during the call, it didn't feel like we were on the same page, if that makes any sense. It was like she was there, but she just wanted to get through the call, as if there wasn't a connection between us. The lady that had my attention was Victoria, the lady that I had mentioned earlier. She knew how to write emails as if we were gonna meet one day. So let me introduce you to the con artist, none other than Victoria. Her Foreign Affair ID number is 189295, and she lives in Ukraine. I ended up thinking we had a pretty solid connection from how she was responding to my emails, and she made it sound like she for sure wanted to meet when I arrived. We kept emailing back and forth, and she kept sending me pictures and more pictures. Let me just show you some. These are all the pictures that I paid for. But what's funny is this is what she looks like without all that makeup on. Big difference, right? I had racked up a cost of $4,200 towards the end, and that included many emails and pictures and 1 Skype call. I was becoming very irritated at the cost of all this, so I decided to search for ways to contact her off the site, such as the obvious ways, social media. She told me through the emails that she didn't do social media, and for me, that's a red flag. I don't know anyone who doesn't do some sort of social media. I became very skeptical and started to drop her pictures in a photo search engine, which I will put a link in the description below so you also can use it if you are receiving pictures and want to find their social media. I recommend everyone to do this if you're going through a similar situation. I discovered she had many social media sites, but under a different name, called Happy Girl. But here it is on the screen, and you would have been able to see all of these pictures and videos for free as they are posted on her Instagram. Here are some clips of her TikToks that I later found using her Happy Girl account and doing some minor searches. Yes, she did say she wasn't on any social media, yet I found her on TikTok, Instagram, Yandex, and VK, which is a Russian online media service similar to Facebook. And I'll link those in the description below. I was glad in some sense and bothered in another. I told her I found her Instagram and I wanted to contact her there from now on. And no sooner than when she received my email, she had blocked me because I could no longer see her page. She must have searched me up as my Insta is my first and last name and proceeded to block me. She went on telling me that it wasn't her site, that someone is using her pictures, but I was blocked, so the writing was on the wall. You see, their main objective is to keep you on the site so you're spending money continuously. And I believe they are making a percentage of whatever they produce. I was told from a couple of ladies that I had friended during my 6 weeks in Kiev that yes, they do receive compensation. I wanted to keep this going as long as I wasn't spending more money, so knowing she wouldn't exchange numbers, I told Victoria I would pay the $400 for the Embra to exchange contact information. And she responded with, she doesn't want to give her number out until we meet. She knew we would never meet. Therefore, the only way to keep this money train going was to drag me along with continuous emails and pictures. At this point, I knew the whole thing was a scam, or at least I was being taken advantage of. So I proceeded with caution, and the thoughts of making a video started to form. I had already bought my ticket to Ukraine and booked my Airbnb a month prior, so I knew I was going regardless of any outcome with a foreign affair or Victoria. I wrote Victoria an email telling her I would be seeing her in about 6 days, knowing she wasn't ever planning to see me, but I wanted to hear her response. Well, this is where the bomb drops. I wasn't surprised when she told me a sudden tragedy had occurred and she would not be able to meet me. Shocking, right? Apparently, she was in the hospital and needed constant supervision due to her becoming a type 1 diabetic. She said she could fall into a coma at any moment and we would have to plan to meet at a later date. Of course, a later date. Anything to keep these emails coming and going. I ended up calling a foreign affair and explaining to them I felt scammed and I wasn't happy with this whole experience and I will be looking to get a refund. Soon after the call, I received an email from a foreign affair and it had a video attached to it, and the letter explained that her agency, Victoria's, had provided papers of the hospital's diagnosis and I could see them in the video. No, you can't. All you see is a pamphlet of papers on the table that could be anything. So the video was of Victoria looking and acting sick and explaining her new condition, and it looks like this.
Вот инсулин, которым я колюсь сейчас. В выписке он написан. И также вот мой глюкометр.
Now, I want to add that this is all a complete act. It's not true. And these agencies and pro-daters will go to long stretches to keep your money going into their bank accounts. You may ask, how do you know for sure if this is real? Good question. So let me show you. I decided to make a fake profile on AnastasiaDate.com, which is another site that Victoria is funneling money out of men from. And I started to message her as some other guy. I wanted the smoking gun so bad that I paid to join their site so I could start sending Victoria messages. No sooner than I started messaging, we were now in a conversation. We were breaking the ice. I needed to confirm that she did not have diabetes so I could show all of you that not only is she a complete fraud, but sites like this, A Foreign Affair, and similar ones, employ thousands upon thousands of women who do just this. As you can see from our messaging, we were warming up. And I'm asking basic questions so I'm not so obvious when I point blank ask her about diabetes, whether it runs in her family or if she suffers from such a disease. Well, now you can clearly see her answer when I did ask. No, she does not have diabetes. And she also mentioned she has a little brother, but in our prior correspondence, she didn't have any siblings. She is a complete con artist, and this video was made to try and prove to all the men out there that she is deathly ill and to keep the men thinking that you two will still be meeting at a later date. I wonder how many men are out there now thinking they will actually meet her one day. But who knows? Maybe it'll just be another tragedy until the man burns out and has no cash left. I couldn't drag this out anymore. I decided I needed to get a 100% refund due to being misled and taken advantage of, or simply scammed. I ended up writing an email to a foreign affair explaining what I went through and how I felt they are employing pro-daters and taking advantage of men at the lowest level. I also told them that if I didn't get a response in a short time, that I would be contacting my bank and I will begin the chargeback process. When they hear chargeback, it's like nails going across the chalkboard, because if a company gets too many, then the bank that the chargeback happened at will stop doing business with them. So it's the last thing that they want. I ended up getting a 100% refund, and then they deleted my account. Okay, I'm going to close this down for now, but I hope I've given you some food for thought, and if you have any questions, let me hear them down below, and I'll try to get back to you at some point. Maybe someone else can help answer your question, as possibly they have went through the same experience. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and have a great time in Ukraine if you do end up going.